My beloved child, my child, I have already opened the door of light for those who know how to guard their hearts. But when your heart is full of noise, are you still pure enough to step through? Do not be afraid. What I have prepared for you remains whole and untouched whenever you desire to return. I am always ready to welcome you. At times it is not I who am far from you, but the noise within you that drowns out my whisper. I am still there, standing in the very rhythm of your breathing, simply waiting for you to become still enough to notice. And only when your heart grows quiet will you see that my presence has never been absent, not even for a single moment. At first, Samuel thought the voice he heard was his teacher's. Do you see, my child, the Lord does not roar, he does not shake the mountains, he speaks in a gentle tone. Only when Samuel laid aside his confusion and stilled his heart was he able to answer, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. It is the same. With you, God's voice has never disappeared. It is simply that your heart has become too noisy to respond. Do you realize it, my child? Life today weighs the heart down with countless things. Expectations, pressure, news, social media, human opinions. All of them form a thick layer of dust that clouds the eyes of your spirit. That is why, even though God is always near, you feel as if He is 1,000 miles away. In truth, the problem is not that He is absent, but that you are no longer quiet enough within to sense His presence. Many say, I can't hear God's voice anymore. Yet God has never been silent. It is we who have allowed too many other voices to take the throne in our hearts. Your heart is like a room if you let it be filled to the brim with worries, sorrows, and desires. How can His light enter? The distance between you and me is not caused by some unforgivable sin, but by the simple fact that there is no space left for my word. God does not push or compete. He waits for you to put your heart back in order. When you live too long in noise, your soul slowly grows numb. You begin to question, is God really there? But my child, just as the wind can move the branches, even when your eyes cannot see it, and the hidden roots still nourish the tree from deep underground, so too does God's presence uphold you every passing moment. If you dare to stop, to release your grip a little, your heart will become sensitive again as it was in the beginning. Remember this, my child. God's presence is not confined by space, time, or your changing emotions. Like the air that carries every breath you take, like the light that guides your steps even when you pay it no attention, like the heartbeat that keeps working faithfully in your chest, each is a sign that God is there, right in the most ordinary moments. Every time you wake up, every step you take outside, every instant you feel exhausted, God is so close that even the smallest cry can reach Him. The issue is not that God is distant, but that your heart is no longer sensitive enough to recognize Him. If you keep living as though He were only a vague idea far away, you will accidentally turn the living God into a hazy concept, even though He is utterly real, very near, and loving you day by day. My dear child, at times I see in your eyes a quiet, smoldering confusion. Where is God when I am the most tired? And I lean close to look at you, gently yet with sadness, for you have allowed the world to sow into your heart the belief that I only appear in sacred places and solemn moments. In reality, my nearness does not depend on church buildings or rituals. It is present in every hidden beat of your heart. You still live, you still walk, you still perceive the light, and these are small yet everlasting signs that I am right beside you. I have never left. It is only that your heart is sometimes too busy to remember that the life flowing in you comes from me. Did you know? Long ago, the prophet Elijah also went through a moment when he thought I had abandoned him. When Elijah fled into the wilderness, his heart full of fear, he waited for me in the strong wind, in the earthquake, in the blazing fire. But I did not come in any of those loud things. Only when a gentle breeze, almost soundless, passed by, Did Elijah recognize that I was with him? Do you see, my child? I do not choose thunderous noise to startle you. I choose gentleness so that your heart may learn to recognize me in a more delicate way. If Elijah nearly lost his faith because he expected me in the clamor, then today you too can easily lose sight of me when your heart is flooded with so many other echoes. Yet I understand you did not forget me on purpose. You were simply swept along by a rhythm that moves too fast until your soul no longer has time to breathe and feel my tender presence. You chase after the calls of work, of success, of others' opinions, and then you convince yourself that I am too far away to care about such small things. But my child, it is precisely in those small things that I am closest to you. When you open your eyes in the morning, when you sit down in the middle of a weary day, when you want to cry but force the tears back. If you would pause for just a single heartbeat, you would see my eyes resting on you with boundless compassion. I'm still patiently standing at the door of your heart, not pushing, not forcing, only quietly waiting for you to open. The longer I wait, the more your heart looks to me like a room where the light is covered by thick curtains, not curtains of sin, but of all the things you believe you must do to be accepted by the world. Sometimes I see you blaming yourself. Why can't I hear God anymore? And I long to gather you into my arms and say, you cannot hear me, not because I am silent, but because you have allowed too many other voices to slip between us. When you still your heart, even for a single moment, you will realize I am whispering, and my voice is gentler than the breeze of early morning. I remember when Jesus was transfigured on the mountain. His disciples came down, still trembling before the glory they had witnessed. Yet after that, they did not see me again in some grand vision. They simply walked with me step by step along the dusty roads. Do you see? Even those closest to me had to learn to recognize me in the ordinary, not only in the radiant moments. It is the same for you. Do not expect me to always appear in miracles or great signs. Learn to find me in the quiet beating of your own heart, for sometimes that very quietness is the gift I send to nurture your faith. My beloved child, I do not want you to feel guilty for admitting that you no longer feel me near. I especially do not want you to fear that you have lost me, for I am not a flash of lightning that appears and then vanishes. I am a hidden yet enduring light, and if you will only open the eyes of your spirit, you will see that I am surrounding you. When you wander in sadness, I am the warmth in your chest that keeps you from collapsing completely. When you are exhausted, I am the life that keeps your heart beating, and when you call my name, even if only in silence, I am already there before the sound can rise. But my child, I also want you to look honestly at yourself, not to condemn yourself, but so you can understand why your heart has grown thin and numb. You pour too much of your attention into things that come and go, into praise and criticism that change from day to day, into pressures the world creates and then forces you to chase. These things fill your heart so completely that there is no room left to feel how close I am. I do not accuse you. I only grieve that you allow what is passing to obscure the only one who is forever faithful to you. If you are willing to turn back just a single step, you will find that I am still standing in the very same place. I do not blame you for wandering long. I do not mock you for being slow to understand, nor do I keep a record of the times you forgot me. I simply open my arms so you can lean on me and taste the peace that no place in this world can offer. The more you return, the more sensitive your heart becomes, and you will be amazed to discover that I am so near that if you only slow your breathing, you have already touched me. I long for your return, not so that you will try harder, but so that you may finally rest. As you begin to learn how to sit still, your heart will slowly be cleansed of the layers of noise that have clung to it for so long. In that silence, I can become a whisper strong enough to heal you. You will realize that I have never left you, not even for a single day. you will see that the moments you once thought meaningless are in fact full of my signs. And this awakening will open a path for you into a deeper journey where you not only hear me in quietness, but can also discern my voice amid the countless sounds that surround you. And then, when your heart begins to recognize me in the nearness of everyday life, you will understand something important. What has kept you far from me has never been distance, but noise. And this very truth will lead you to step through a new doorway where you learn how to clear away the needless clamor so that only the most important thing remains: the sound of my voice in your heart. My beloved child, I see in your heart not only the silent anxieties, but also countless sounds pushing and jostling one another day after day. They are like unending waves, crashing against your heart until you can no longer distinguish which is my voice and which is the voice of the world. I have never stopped whispering to you. It is just that your heart has become so full of other things that my voice is buried deep like a seed, lying under hard, dry soil. I do not blame you, for you are living in an age where noise seems normal, even necessary, for survival. But my child, the more you let it fill your soul, the harder it becomes for you to find again the peace I sowed into your heart from the very beginning. I want to tell you a story in Scripture that few people pay attention to: the story of Mary and Martha. When I came to visit their home, Martha was busy with preparations, her heart full of insistent voices telling her things must be neat, must be thoughtful, must be perfect. Meanwhile, Mary chose only one thing: to sit at my feet and listen to every word. Martha complained, thinking I would defend her busyness, but I gently said, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. Only one thing is necessary. Do you see?" The problem was not that Martha did something wrong, but that the noise within her kept her from hearing me. And today, so many times you are just like Martha, so busy that you lose what matters most. If your heart is filled with fears, packed tight with endless desires, and heaped with the expectations of others, it becomes like a vessel with no room left to receive fresh water. You wonder why you can no longer hear me? It is because that noise has become a layer of dust covering your spiritual ears. I do not push, do not impose, and do not compete for a place among other voices. I wait for you to freely choose to let your heart grow quiet. The more you let yourself be swept along by social media, praise and criticism, jealousy and restless ambitions, the harder it becomes to hear my voice, which is gentle, true, and very near. I love you, but I am also saddened when I see your heart opening to everything except me. I know you think you are strong, but your heart is very fragile before misleading calls. They urge you to succeed quickly, to prove yourself, to be recognized, to live up to the standards the world lays out. But my child, those urgent voices do not come from me. I never force you to run. I only lead you step by step. When you let noise guide you, you will lose yourself in dead ends of exhaustion, jealousy, and comparison. But when you let me lead you, you will find the rhythm of your soul's journey, light, steady, unhurried, yet always sure. Hurry always comes from the world, but peace can only come from me. Try to recall those nights when you tossed and turned, your mind spinning even though your body was utterly tired. That is when your heart is most full, not of joy, but of worry, imagination, fear, and the stories you build inside your own head. Those noises make you forget that I am sitting beside you, simply waiting for you to breathe gently so that I may touch you. I do not blame you for worrying so much, but I want you to know this. When the heart is too noisy, you will hear accusations more than love, hear fear more than peace. The silence you need is not emptiness, but a stillness deep enough for me to whisper to you, "Do not be afraid, I am here." Do you remember the prophet Elisha? Once, an enemy army surrounded the city, full of shouting and terror, and his servant panicked in fear. But Elisha remained calm, because he heard what others could not hear, my presence in the silence. When he prayed, I opened the servant's eyes to see the heavenly host encamped around them. Do you see? Noise makes people see only threats, but stillness helps the soul see the truth. Today, when you are surrounded by bad news, pressure, and anxiety, I want to open your eyes as I open the eyes of that servant, so that you may see I am encircling you far more than fear is chasing you. My beloved child, I do not come like a storm, nor do I appear in commotion. I come like the first dew of morning, like a soft breath in simple prayer. You want to hear me, yet you do not allow yourself even 5 or 10 minutes to be still, not even a few seconds to breathe in my presence. I do not demand long hours of prayer from you. I only desire that you know how to stop even for a very brief moment so that I may touch you. If you would only give me a small space in the vessel of your heart, I would pour into it a peace that nothing can take away. And once you begin to taste that peace, all the other noises will quietly fade into the background. But you also need to know this. If you continue to let your heart be occupied by noise, you will gradually lose the ability to sense me, the one your soul needs, as a tree needs water. A person who cannot stay still for even 5 minutes will find it hard to hear my voice in moments of trial. I want you to return, not by forcing yourself, but by recognizing the truth that you are worthy of the peace I have prepared for you. Open your heart, remove what is unnecessary, so that there may be a real empty space for me. For it is precisely that space that will bring you to the place where you can recognize my voice amid the countless sounds of this life. And as you slowly learn to grow quiet, you will begin to notice something you have never really seen before. My presence has always been patiently waiting for you behind every layer of noise. You will find me in your breathing, in your tears, in the moments when you are weary, yet still choose to keep going. And that very discovery will open another door for you, where you not only learn to clear your heart of noise, but also to let go of the things that are binding your soul, so that you may step more deeply into the freedom and grace I have prepared for you. My beloved child, I understand that what you cling to is not truly because it is so precious, but because you fear that without it, you will be empty. Yet you do not realize that this clinging is what tires your heart more than anything else. I see your hands trying to hold on to things long past, old wounds, and the plans you believe will save your life. You hold them as though if you let them go, you would collapse. But you do not see that they are the very things keeping you from drawing near to me. Letting go in me is not falling into darkness, but stepping into the light where I have been waiting for you all along. I want to tell you a story that many overlook, the story of the rich young man who came to Jesus. He came with sincere desire. He wanted eternal life. He wanted to go deeper into my love. But when I asked him to let go of what he possessed so he could give me his whole heart, he went away sorrowful. Do you see? The issue was not that he had many possessions, but that he allowed those things to take the place that belonged to me in his heart. In the same way, the things you cling to, not only material things, but also control, wounded pride, and fear of others' opinions, keep you from stepping fully into the grace I long to give you. Do not think that letting go means losing everything. Letting go is making your hands empty, so that I can place into them what is better, purer, and more enduring. There are moments when you ask yourself, if I let go, what will I have left? My child, you will still have me, and when you have me, you are not a failure even if everything else leaves you. You have become used to trusting in your own strength, your own plans, and in the things you think will keep you standing. But I want you to know, true stability does not come from what you hold on to, but from the one who is holding you. I see how hard you try to build your life the way you want it. I see the nights you spend calculating, the days you scramble to maintain a fragile sense of control. But the more tightly you cling, the more easily what you cling to begins to control you. You grasp at fame and become ruled by it. You grasp at approval and become wounded by people's words. You grasp at fear and become chained by it. Your heart is like a room packed with old, unused things, not because you truly want them, but because you are afraid to clear them out. And when the room is too full, even the light I send finds it hard to touch the floor. In Scripture, there is a very beautiful image that you rarely notice: the widow who had only a little oil. When the prophet Elisha told her to pour the oil into the empty jars, the oil kept flowing until there were no empty jars left. Do you see? The condition for the miracle was not having a lot, but having empty space. Your heart is the same. When you dare to set down what you have grown too used to, I will fill that place with the oil of grace that never runs dry. The more you let go, the more room you have to receive what comes from heaven. I am not asking you to renounce the world in a harsh, ascetic way or abandon your responsibilities. I only want you to step out of your dependence on the fleeting things that squeeze the life out of your soul. You do not need to exhaust yourself to prove your worth, because your worth comes from me, not from people. You also do not need to hold on to resentments, because they do not protect you. They only weigh you down. When you dare to open your hands, you will see that I place into them something lighter than anything you have ever held: peace. Do you know why so many people cannot sense me even though I am very close? Because they are busy clutching too many things in their hearts. A jar that is already full cannot receive more water. A hand that is tightly closed cannot receive a gift. I long for you to understand. Letting go is not abandoning your dreams, but placing them in the hands of the one who knows what is best for you. Letting go is not giving up, but handing me the right to lead the way. You will see the light more clearly when you are no longer carrying your old shadows. And when you begin to let go, little by little, letting go of fear, letting go of control, letting go of inferiority, letting go of plans built on your ego, you will feel an astonishing lightness. It is precisely that lightness that allows you to walk deeper into my love. It is precisely that emptiness that opens the space for me to touch you. It is precisely that surrender that helps you live freer, stronger, and closer to me. Gradually, you will realize what you thought you had lost was only the dust that kept you from seeing grace clearly. And when your heart has become lighter and more open, you will begin to sense a new life flowing in, gentle like water, steady like daylight. You will see that I am leading you into a deeper journey, where not only the old things are taken away, but the wounds themselves begin to be healed. And right there, you will understand that my love does not stop at inviting you to let go. It goes on walking with you to restore what you thought was lost forever. And when your heart has been cleared of what has been weighing it down, you will be ready to step into an even deeper truth. I do not come to condemn, but to heal, to raise you up, and to rewrite the story of your life in a way you never even dared to dream. My beloved child, I see in your heart those dark corners you try to hide, because you think that if I saw everything, I would turn away. But, my child, my love is not like human affection. It does not rise when you do well and fall when you make mistakes. I see every deep crack in your soul. I see every time you failed and locked yourself inside shame. You think you have gone too far wrong to return, but I see only a hurting child who needs to be held. I do not stand at a distance to judge. I draw near to soothe the very parts you most want to conceal. Do you remember when Peter denied me 3 times? He thought he was no longer worthy to stand before me. He avoided my gaze, hid in the shadows, his heart full of unspeakable shame. But after my resurrection, I went looking for him, not to accuse, but to heal. I did not bring up his failure. I simply asked him one question: do you love me? because I wanted him to remember that love is what truly decides everything, not failure. It is the same for you. Your sin will never be greater than my mercy. I know there have been times you have collapsed and no one knew. The tears that fell in hidden rooms, the times you blamed yourself for not being strong enough, not holy enough, not as right as others expected. You think I must be disappointed, but in truth, my heart aches because you think I love you conditionally. I have been with you in every one of those tears, even when you believed you were completely alone. And it is precisely in those shattered places that I want to place my healing love, so that you may know your worth does not lie in what you accomplish, but in the fact that you belong to me. My child, I never use your past to define your future. The things you have done wrong are not a period at the end of your story, but only a comma in the journey of your soul's growth. I see your weakness, but I do not see it as a reason to withdraw. I see it as an opportunity to come closer. I know you want to be better, yet you are afraid for me to see your imperfection. Know this: I do not turn my back on imperfection. I make it the very place where grace blossoms. There was a time I healed a paralyzed man whom his friends carried to me. Do you think I only healed his body? No. Before I made his legs walk, I healed his heart first. Your sins are forgiven, because I know there are wounds deeper than sickness, the silent accusations inside the heart. You too carry many such wounds, words that once pierced you, fears that make you shrink back, memories that convince you you are no longer lovable. I have come to heal all of it, the part people can see and the part only you know. People may leave you when you are weak, but I will not. I am the one who stays when the storm has passed, the light that does not forsake you when you must walk through the night. I hold your hand not to remind you of your mistakes, but to pull you out of the mire of self-condemnation. I see within you wonders that you no longer dare to believe in. And I want you to know, there is no crack in your heart so wide that I cannot fill it with my love. Yet you must also be careful with the voice of accusation, not from me, but from your own fear. When all you hear are words like, "You are not worthy," "God cannot love you the same as before," you are believing in darkness more than in light. I want you to return to the truth. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are my child. Do not let the voice of accusation push you away from the only source of healing your soul truly needs. Let me speak the final word over your life, not your fear. And then, when you allow me to heal the most painful places in your heart, you will see something wondrous. The very fragments that once made you ashamed become the places where grace shines the brightest. I do not erase your past. I turn it into a testimony of love. You will find that you no longer live in fear of punishment, but in a living relationship where I am the Father and you are the cherished child. And this healing will lead you into a new stage of the journey, where you learn to live in my presence each day as a source of strength that never burns out. My beloved, when your heart has been healed even a little, you will begin to feel a deep stillness opening within you. That stillness is not emptiness, but a gentle invitation to step into my presence each day. I know life is not easy right now, and sometimes you are afraid you will slip back into the old cycle where weariness, fear, and confusion take hold of you. But trust me, if you will simply pause for a few seconds in the day and whisper my name quietly, you have already stepped into a place of peace the world cannot touch. I am always there, only a slow breath away. Do you remember the Samaritan woman at the well? When I came to her, I did not bring rituals, nor did I demand that she prepare anything first. I simply sat down, asked her for a drink of water, and from that ordinary moment her whole life was made new. Do you see? My presence does not need to be sought only in grand, extraordinary moments. It is right there in the simple moments you often overlook. If you would give me a little time in your day, even just a few whispered words, a few deep breaths. I will use that very small offering to pour into you the living water. You can begin very gently. In the morning, when you first open your eyes, instead of reaching for your phone or rushing straight into your to-do list, you can whisper, "Father, here I am today." That simple sentence opens up a completely different kind of day for you. It reminds you that you do not have to walk alone. It makes your heart more awake to all the noise, and it helps your soul recognize the one who is walking with you, step by step. Just that one act of offering is enough for me to lay my hand upon your forehead and bless your new day. Then, during the day, when you feel overwhelmed, when work piles up, when sudden worries run across your heart, I want you to stop for just 10-30 seconds. All it takes is one deep breath and a very gentle calling of my name, Jesus, and you will feel your chest loosen, your soul no longer clenched as before. Do not think that prayer must be long, perfectly formed, or full of elaborate words. I only need your heart to know how to turn toward me. That simplicity is more powerful than any ritual you could imagine, because it comes from a heart that is true. In the evening, before you drift into sleep, take a minute to look back on your day, not to accuse yourself or to pick apart your faults, but to recognize, how has the Lord been walking with me today? You will be surprised to see how I have been present in very small things. A kind word someone offered you, a moment of peace you felt in the midst of pressure, a time when your heart softened instead of flaring up in anger. Seeing these things not only helps you give thanks, it also makes the bond between you and me more sacred, more concrete, and more alive with each passing day. My beloved child, when you learn to live like this, to pause, to breathe, to call my name, to remember that I am with you, my presence will gradually become an inner stream, quietly nourishing your soul. The things that once made you lose your way will lose their power because you have found a new anchor, my presence within your own heart. You will find yourself calmer, clearer, more steadfast amid unforeseen turmoil, and it is precisely this being with me that will lead you out of the weariness you once thought you could never escape. But you must also know something important. If you do not learn to live each day aware of me, the world will swallow your heart at a speed you would never have imagined. Not because you are weak, but because you forget to receive the true source of strength. I do not leave you to walk by your own efforts, but you need to learn how to open your heart to welcome me, like someone opening a window to let the wind of heaven pour in. My presence does not come to force you. It comes to lift you up, to steady you through the darkest hours, and to give meaning to every tear you shed. And then, when you are faithful in very small things, the morning offering, the peaceful breath in the middle of the day, the evening examen, you will discover a deep truth. You have never had to walk alone. Day by day, hour by hour, breath by breath, I have been beside you, more patient than anyone you have ever known. You will sense me not only in times of prayer, but in the simplest daily moments, as you hurry down the street, or when you sit eating a meal by yourself. And when your heart is bound to me in this way, nothing will be able to make you lose your way for long. In the end, you will realize that my presence is not a fleeting feeling, but a place of refuge, a source of strength, a quiet yet undefeated light. You will walk through this world with lighter steps, because you know that the one who journeys with you will never abandon you. And precisely in that presence, you will find the life you have always longed for, a life that is free, peaceful, and overflowing with grace, to the point that nothing will be able to steal it from you. My beloved child, let me lead you deeper into this gentle yet piercing truth, like an underground stream threading its way through dry earth, silent yet persistent, patient yet never exhausted. Your heart, with all its beats that have trembled with anxiety, raced with desire, ached with disappointment, and hardened from hurt, was never made to carry so many burdens. It was created to welcome light, to touch peace, to become a dwelling place for hope, to be fertile ground where love can grow. But the world, with its frantic pace sweeping you along, with its ceaseless shouting, with its invitations pulling your heart in every direction, has filled your soul in ways you never truly wanted. And then, one day, when you pause in the middle of all that chaos, you find yourself asking why you can no longer sense me, why you feel dry, empty, lost, amid the very things you once thought would give you meaning. But my child, it is not that I have left you, it is that your heart has been so overfilled that there is no longer room for me to enter. My presence does not pound on the door, does not push you over, does not elbow its way in among the hurried voices of the world. I come with a gentleness that only a finely attuned heart can perceive. I do not wish to seize you through fear. I desire to touch you with love. That love is never rushed, never pressuring, never demanding that you become someone else before you come to me. And so I wait until your inner world is willing to bow low. I wait until the storms in your mind settle like still waters after the wind has passed. I wait until your hands loosen their grip on the things that exhaust you. I wait until you realize you can no longer fill the emptiness inside by yourself. When that moment comes, you will feel me, not as a beautiful but distant idea, but as something very real, very near, very familiar, as though I had always been there and you are only now turning back to see. And my child, what I desire from you is not the emptiness of someone who has given up, but the openness of someone who knows how to entrust themselves. An open heart is not a heart that has lost all hope, but a heart that has placed its hope in the right place. I never ask you to discard everything you have. I only ask you to let go of what is drawing you away from me, the worries that do not lead to good action, the desires that steal your peace, the resentments that make your heart grow calloused, the attachments that deceive you into thinking the purpose of your life lies in things that cannot last. The more tightly you cling to these things, the harder it becomes to see me. But when you dare to loosen your grip, even just a little, you will begin to feel the wind of heaven slipping through that opened crack, gentle, cool, yet full of life. A heart that lets too many worldly things in will have no room left for peace. But a heart that dares to open, that dares to set down what weighs it down, will become fertile ground where I can do wonders you yourself would never have imagined. Do you know why I compare my presence to the wind, to light, to the hidden currents beneath the ocean's surface? Because all of these are invisible yet undeniable. You do not see the wind, but you know it is there when you watch the branches sway or feel it brush against your hair. You do not see light itself with your bare eyes when it is broken into tiny rays, but you see how it transforms the world. You do not see the deep currents of the ocean, yet they move the vastness of the waters. So it is with me. You do not see me with your physical eyes, but you sense me in the sacred stirrings of your soul. I slip into your life through the quiet impulses that nudge you toward what is right, even when no one is watching. I am present when your heart suddenly softens at a moment it should have turned to anger. I whisper when you unexpectedly feel moved to forgive instead of retaliate. I lift you up when you think you have no strength left to continue. I place in your heart a smile that has no explainable reason. I sow in you a calm stillness right in the midst of days full of trials. That is who I am, an invisible presence that cannot be denied. There are moments when you ask yourself, why can't I feel God like before? Why does everything inside me seem so dim and unclear? My child, it is not that I have grown distant, but that your heart has been taken over by so much noise that there is no space left for listening. You are like someone standing at the edge of the sea, yet your mind is filled only with the clamor of the city. and so you cannot hear the waves breaking at your very feet. I have not disappeared. Your heart simply needs to become still again in order to hear my voice. And to grow still, you must learn to let go. Letting go is not abandoning. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is not failure. Letting go is choosing not to let the small things of this world become the master of your heart anymore. Letting go is remembering that your heart belongs to me before it belongs to anything else. When you loosen your grip even for just a single beat, you will begin to notice my presence slipping through the tiny cracks of your soul, like the first rays of morning light reaching into the darkest corners of a room. You see me when, in the midst of your confusion, you suddenly feel a stillness settle in your heart from a place you cannot name. You see me when a gentle word of comfort from someone happens to touch exactly where you are hurting. You see me when a difficult decision, once tangled and heavy, suddenly becomes clear. You see me when a door you once feared would close instead opens into a new path you never expected. None of these things are random. They are my hand moving into your life in the most natural and tender way, so that you may recognize that you are not walking alone. And then you will understand why I desire there to be an empty space in your heart. That space is not there for you to feel deprived, but so that you may be filled with what truly lasts. You will be filled with peace, a peace that does not come from everything going well, but a peace that remains even when nothing has yet changed. You will be filled with a free and unbound joy, a joy not based on circumstances, but on your soul touching the true source of life. You will be filled with a new strength, not the strength to run faster, but the strength to stand firmer, to not collapse under the waves of life. And you will be filled with a love that never goes out, a love that does not abandon you when you are weak, does not change when you fall, and does not leave when you are disappointed in yourself. My child, the love I have for you is unlike any love you have ever known. You may lose a person, lose an opportunity, lose a plan, but you will never lose me. I am there on the days when your heart is bright like sunlight, and I am there too on the days when you curl into yourself because of pain. I do not leave, even when your heart feels as dark as night. I stand right beside you, in silence, not because I do not care, but because I am waiting for that empty space within you, so that I may step in. Once you are willing to open up, even just a little, I will take care of the rest. And when you allow me to enter, you will come to realize something the world cannot grasp. You can lose everything, and yet still be fully alive. You can be weak, and yet truly strong. You can be outwardly alone, and yet never for a moment be abandoned. You can be exhausted, and yet find your heart overflowing with hope, because having me within you is having everything. You will see things in your life begin to shift, not because your circumstances change all at once, but because your heart is being transformed. A heart that has me will look at the world with different eyes, will love in a different way, will rise again with a different strength, and will live a life no longer driven by the noise around it, but upheld by my presence. My beloved, your heart was made to belong to me, and I belong to you. When it is emptied of the things that drain and weary it, it will be filled with a light no darkness can extinguish. When it learns to surrender, it will be lifted above the very things that once brought it to its knees. When it learns to open wide, it will become fertile ground where my love can bear fruit. And when that heart touches my presence, you will know that you have never been lost, never been forsaken, never once gone unloved. My child, as you begin to train your heart to grow familiar with the breath of stillness, you will discover something you have never fully understood before. I have never been far from you. Even in those moments that seem the driest, when you feel surrounded by so much noise that you can no longer tell what is true and what is illusion, I am still standing just behind the door of your heart, waiting for the smallest opening through which my light may pour in. I do not require you to pray with eloquent words or to keep long and complex rituals. I only desire that you know how to step away from the noisy crowd for a brief moment, to set aside your tangled thoughts for a while, to lift your gaze and allow your soul to rest. You cannot hear my voice if your mind is like a crossroads at rush hour traffic blaring, voices overlapping, flashing signs everywhere, and temptations pulling you in all directions. My voice will never compete with that noise. I do not shout for your attention. I simply call softly like a breeze slipping through a crack in the door, like a drop of water gliding gently along a leaf. A heart filled with chaotic sounds cannot recognize my voice, and that is why I invite you back into silence, not so that you may run away from reality, but so that you may see reality with clearer eyes. Do you know why I continually call you into silence? Because it is precisely when you are quiet that the truth about yourself finally has a chance to speak. When you set your burdens down for a moment, when you allow yourself to sit still, even just for a few minutes, your heart begins to breathe again. And only then do you realize how many things you have been packing inside yourself simply because you were afraid of disappointment or afraid of not being acknowledged by others. I see the quiet worries that steal your sleep. I see the careless words of others that have caused your heart to close. I see the comparisons that torment you and make you question whether you are enough. But my child, you do not have to become anyone else for me to love you. You do not have to be perfect to rest in my arms. The only thing I ask is that your heart not be locked so tightly that there is no room left for me to enter. The more you try to cram your heart with success, reputation, control, or endless anxieties, the more foreign you become to the gentle whisper I send you each morning. I do not ask you to abandon the world, but I ask that you not hand over your whole heart to it, for the world only knows how to take, while I know how to give. My child, your soul was not made for what is fleeting. You keep trying to cling to what is temporary, thinking that if you gather enough of everything, you will finally be safe. But the more you grasp, the emptier you feel, like someone drinking salt water who only grows thirstier with every sip. You chase after praise, yet the more you receive, the more afraid you are of one day being forgotten. You run after success, yet each time you attain it, you sense an even greater emptiness opening up inside. That is not your fault. It is simply a sign that your heart was fashioned for something beyond everything this world can offer. You may try 1,000 things, achieve many goals, and reach dreams that others admire, and yet one night, when all the noise has faded, you will still hear within yourself a deep, unexplainable longing, a longing that only I can soothe. You do not realize that this very emptiness is the place where I desire to dwell, that this very thirst is the cry of your soul, the parched ground longing to be watered by living water. I do not come to cause you loss. I come to make you whole in a way you have never known. You have asked me, why can't I feel God, even though I know He is there? I want you to understand this. My light is always present, but if your heart is weighed down by resentment, ambition, fear, painful memories, wounded pride, or unhealthy expectations, then that light becomes like the sun hidden behind a thick curtain. The sun has not disappeared. Something is simply blocking it from your sight. So it is with your heart. It never stops reaching toward me, but the dust of life has covered that inner light. When you forgive, you are loosening a rope that has been strangling your soul for far too long. When you lay down what you thought you had to hold on to, you are removing the stones that have been pressing on your chest. When you choose to trust, you are allowing me to step into the very place you were once afraid for me to see. When you sit still and whisper my name ever so softly, you are drawing the curtain back. And when the curtain is pulled aside, the light does not merely slip in a little. It floods in like a waterfall, powerful yet gentle, until you realize that I have been standing at the door of your heart, far longer than you ever imagined. My child, do not mistake the work of emptying your heart for loss or weakness. The emptiness I desire for you is not desolation but readiness. It is not about throwing away what truly belongs to you, but clearing out what was never meant to be yours. A room cluttered with old things cannot welcome an honored guest, and a heart crammed with worries cannot receive new life. When you allow your heart to loosen its grip on what wounds you, on what steals your peace, on what makes you doubt yourself, you are not losing yourself. You are opening the door to meet again the truest self I placed within you from the beginning. You have no idea how beautiful you are until the layers of dust are brushed away. You do not know how bright your soul can be until some of those tangled fears begin to fall off. You do not know how strong your heart truly is until you let me fill it with life, with peace, with a deep joy the world will never be able to give you. And you will see this unfold in a very gentle way. As your heart becomes less crowded with the world, it does not fall into the cold emptiness you once feared. Instead, it opens wide in a way that will surprise you. You will begin to sense me in the most ordinary things, in a slow, deliberate breath, in the morning light pouring through the window. In the moment you stop speaking and simply listen to the life moving within you, you will discover that I am not somewhere far away, but right there in what you once thought was small and insignificant. And then the most wondrous thing will happen. You will begin to live, not by your own strength, but by my flow within you. You will no longer experience the spiritual life as a burden or a forced duty. It will become a way of living as natural as water finding its way back to the sea. You will see yourself less anxious, slower to anger, less afraid, not because you are straining to change, but because I am reshaping your heart from within. You will begin to sense my presence as a quiet yet very real companion, the one who walks behind you, beside you, before you, and within you. My child, I have always desired for your heart to be the place where I dwell, not to take over but to uphold you. I do not come to crowd your life. I come to make that life lighter, brighter, and deeper. When your heart opens, even just a little, I will fill it with myself, with comfort when you are weak, with support when you stumble, with perseverance when you grow weary, with light when you walk through the darkest stretches of your path. I will use your very heart, once it has been healed, to become a light for others, not by force, but by gentleness, not by triumph in the eyes of the world, but by inner steadiness, not by splendid words, but by a life that quietly reflects my presence. You do not need to do many things. You only need to let me love you completely, and that love will, by itself, turn your life into a living testimony for the world. My child, there are times when I look upon humanity and see something truly strange. People go searching for me with all the noise the world creates, while I am standing in the deepest, quietest layer of their own souls, where there is no clamor, no hurry, no show of self. Human beings chase after bright lights, applause, and what seems dazzling on the surface. Yet I, the one who created light, wait for them in a place very few are willing to enter, a small silence, just enough for the heart to notice my breath. Many say that I am distant, absent, or silent, but what they do not realize is that their hearts have long been filled with movements that do not come from me, filled with fear of people's opinions, filled with hunger for recognition, filled with illusions of success, filled with the whispers of the world, filled with a self that has grown so large it drowns out the very longing for the sacred within them. It is these echoes that veil my presence, making them think I am gone, even though I have never once stepped away from the soul of any person. Do you see? People often expect me to appear in a loud, spectacular, extraordinary way. They want dramatic manifestations, miracles that explode onto the scene, signs that shake hearts like thunder and lightning. But I do not come like that. I do not burst through the door with a great crash. I simply touch it lightly to see if the heart is still sensitive. I do not delight in noise, because noise keeps people from hearing even their own selves, much less hearing me. I come like a delicate breeze passing by, like a drop of dew falling softly upon the grass, like warmth quietly seeping into your skin as dawn changes color. I come in what the world deems trivial, a simple meal, a brief pause in the rush of life, an unexpected sense of peace in the very moment you thought you were about to collapse. Yet people insist on looking for me in what is dazzling and spectacular, so they fail to see that I am standing right where they do not bother to look. And you know, it is precisely because they forget how to grow quiet that they lose sight of me. The heart is like a garden. If it is not tended, it grows full of weeds. If it is not cleared, it fills with stones. If it is never touched by fresh wind, it suffocates beneath the dryness of passing days. A heart choked with the noise of life becomes a place where my voice struggles to resound, not because I refuse to speak, but because there is no room left for my words to fall and take root. I do not force you into silence. I do not coerce you into stillness. I simply invite you to return to a gentler rhythm, so that your heart has the chance to feel something you have forgotten, that my presence is already embracing your life in every moment you are alive. But if your heart is crammed full of what does not belong to me, you will not be able to discern which voice is mine, which is the voice of fear, which is the echo of the past, and which is the pull of earthly desires dragging you along by an invisible yet powerful thread. My child, what I desire you to understand is not that you must reject everything in this world, but that you must recognize what truly has the right to remain in your heart and what you should set down so you can breathe more freely. You cannot hold the whole sky in your hands, but you can open them to receive the drop of rain I send you. You cannot carry the entire world inside you, but you can let me step into the most hidden places of your soul, those corners you yourself are afraid to face. I do not demand that you let go of what you cherish. I only ask that you do not allow those things to harden into stones that bind you. The more tightly you cling to everything, the heavier you become. The more you try to control every detail of your life, the more easily you will burn out. But when you dare to open your hands, when you dare to lay down the things that are filling and tiring your heart, you will discover that I place within you something lighter than all of them, peace. And that peace does not come from you bracing yourself to be strong. It comes from the truth that you no longer have to walk alone. I want you to learn to live aware of me each day, not by forcing yourself to pray long, wordy prayers, but by giving me a moment that is small and utterly sincere, just enough for me to draw near. When you first open your eyes in the morning, if you will pause for a beat, breathe gently, and call my name, your soul will be joined to a source of strength the world cannot compare with. With just one breath that holds me in it, you step into a new day, not with anxiety, but with the trust that there is one who walks with you, the one who knows every fear, every plan, every burden you are about to face. Do not think my presence is found only in churches, in formal devotions, in the moments you set aside to pray. I am with you in all those seemingly ordinary times, when you sit on a bus amidst the stream of people, when you wait for someone to reply to your message, when you clean your house, when you eat a simple dinner. All of these moments can become places of encounter with me, as long as your heart knows how to leave a small space to recognize that I am standing there with you. Living with me is not about running to special sacred places in order to feel me. It is about realizing that I am slipping quietly into every small thing, every gesture, every glance. Every moment you assume is just routine. If you will be just a little more aware, you will see that my presence is not a luxury, but the very atmosphere you breathe every day without noticing. My child, whenever you know how to pause in the middle of your day, even for just 10 seconds, to breathe within my presence, you are doing something the world will never understand. You are giving your soul a chance to come home. In the rush of life, you often think that stopping is a waste of time, but in truth, stopping is what allows you to see your path more clearly. One who never stops lets life push them along until they do not even realize when they lost themselves. But you, when you choose to slow your breathing and your pace, you are handing me the right to lead the way, and I will never allow you to wander too far again. And in the evening, when everything grows quiet, when the noises of the day have sunk into the background, I want you to take a minute to look back on your day in the light of my presence. Not to judge yourself or to find fault, but to recognize the moments when I walked beside you, a word you spoke, when even you yourself did not understand how you managed to be that gentle. A time you held back your anger because you remembered that I was watching you. A moment when you were tired but suddenly felt as if someone were supporting your shoulders. An instant when you smiled even though the whole day had been tense. All of these are my footprints, traces that you will only recognize when you are willing to look back. And when you begin to see this, my presence will become something real, something alive, something that touches the ordinary fabric of your daily life. Little by little, you will see that when you live in my presence, you are no longer knocked down by the headwinds of life the way you once were. Everything still happens, the waves still crash, challenges still come, but your heart no longer reels. It is not because you have become stronger, but because you have learned to lean on the one who never wavers. You will sense a quiet strength, gentle yet deep, lifting you from within as though your soul were being held by someone. And yes, it is I who hold you, not only when you are praying, but also when you are busy, anxious, and even when you have forgotten me. My child, if you remain faithful in these small things, the morning offering, the breaths in the middle of the day, the evening examen, you will discover an important truth. You have never been alone. I have walked with you for a very long time. It is only now that you are beginning to notice. You will find me in the morning light, in the rustling leaves, in the kind gaze of someone who looks at you with goodwill, in moments that seem entirely insignificant. And when your heart beats in rhythm with my presence, no event will be able to make you lose your way for long, because your soul has found the firmest anchor, me. Continue to live this way, for this daily awareness of me will fill your heart with a life that the world cannot give. You will walk with a steady trust, a light spirit, a tranquil heart. You will no longer be pulled off course by the noise of the world, because within you there will be another sound, the sound of my voice. And that sound will lead you through each stretch of the road, until the day you look back and realize that it is I who have written the story of your life with strokes that are gentle yet full of power. My beloved child, before the first light slips through the curtain and touches your eyes, I desire that you give the first moment of the day entirely to me, not with long prayers or elaborate rituals, but with a soft whisper from the depths of your heart. Father, here I am. Such a simple word opens a door you do not expect, the door of peace, of direction, of strength to step into a day that may be filled with things you cannot foresee. When you whisper my name, you are placing your soul in the safest place, like a little child resting its head on its father's shoulder, not to make a show, not to demand anything, but simply to seek a place of refuge. And from that very moment, each step you take is no longer taken alone, because you enter the new day with the awareness that the Creator walks with you, quiet yet mighty, gentle yet unshakable. Your day becomes different simply because you began it with a soft murmur of belonging to me. When you step outside, my child, I long for your eyes to pause for a moment on the sky stretching wide above you. Look at the clouds changing color, the layers of air in motion, the branches bending in the wind, and the people hurrying past you. All of them are retelling the story of my presence in their own way. I am not hidden away in a distant, unreachable place. I am right there in the ordinary movements you so often consider meaningless. A ray of sunlight filtering through the leaves, a bird's song in the morning, the scent of the breeze brushing past your hair. All these are ways in which I gently touch you and remind you that I am near. You do not need to look for me in grand visions or extraordinary signs beyond your grasp. You only need to open the eyes of your soul to see that every heartbeat of the universe bears the imprint of my hand. The world may weigh your heart down, but creation, the work of my hands, never ceases to whisper that you are not lost. Then there will be hours when you feel as though you have been thrown into the very storm of responsibilities, worries, expectations, and vague voices that make your soul tremble. In those moments, I do not ask you to be strong. I do not expect you to suppress your pain or force yourself to appear calm. I simply invite you to pause for a while, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let your fears flow out while you open your heart to the peace standing right at the door of your innermost being. Your breath is a small bridge that leads you into my presence, not noisy, not complicated, but as familiar as a close companion on the road. As you breathe out, you lay your burdens into my hands. As you breathe in, you receive the breath of peace that I have prepared for you from eternity. You will be surprised to discover how just a few seconds of stopping can soften the clamor you once thought was beyond your control. Do not imagine that you must become perfectly holy before I can be with you. I have never demanded very long prayers, beautifully crafted phrases, or impeccably performed rituals. I ask only for a small, empty space in your heart, a place where I can sit with you, rest, my hand upon your shoulder, and let you hear the gentle heartbeat of my love. A moment of stillness, a minute of calm, a deep breath, a quiet word. These are the gifts you can offer me each day. When you make room for me, you are inviting peace, light, and life to enter the inner chamber that has long been covered in the dust of anxiety. And with only the smallest opening, my light will pour in and dissolve what has weighed you down for so long. Do not lose heart if there are days when you cannot feel me. Do not be quick to think that I am far away, that I am silent, or that your heart has grown so hardened that I can no longer reach it. Remember, a seed lying in the soil is also silent, but it is precisely in that silence that it grows. The roots of a tree push deep into the earth without making a sound, but it is those hidden movements that nourish the whole trunk. In the same way, I am shaping your soul in places you cannot see, in moments when you imagine you are standing still, when you cannot sense me. It does not mean I have left you. That is often when I am working most intensely within you, quiet yet powerful, unseen yet more enduring than anything else. You need only to keep your heart open, remain faithful, and keep believing that my silence is not absence, but preparation. There are times when I am like the sun behind a thick layer of clouds. You lift your head and see no radiant light, feel no footsteps of the sun's warmth, and you think I have vanished. But my child, the sun does not cease to exist when the clouds gather. Light does not die out just because it is hidden for a moment. I am still there, still surrounding you with warmth, still giving life to the earth, even when your eyes cannot perceive it. When you are sad, tired, afraid, lonely, and convinced that you have been left behind, that is precisely when I am standing closest to you. Trust this. Love does not disappear just because your feelings change. True love remains, and the love I have for you has never wavered, for even a single moment. My child, what I desire from you is not perfection but faithfulness. The space you give me each day is not to prove your piety, it is to nourish your heart. When you sit with me for a few seconds, a few minutes, or a few small moments, You are building an invisible yet unshakable foundation that will uphold your soul in every storm. Over time, you will realize that my presence is no longer something you look for, but something you live in. That is, when peace no longer comes in waves, but becomes a continuous current flowing within you. Joy will no longer depend on circumstances, but will spring from a source that never runs dry. And as you persist in opening your heart to me each day, you will find yourself changing in ways you never expected. The things that once made you quick to anger will no longer hold power over you. The worries that once weighed on your chest will gradually grow lighter. The fears that once made you tremble will retreat. Peace will no longer be something you hope to receive from outside, but will begin to well up from within, from your very heart, now rejoined to me. You will walk through the world without being swept along by its rhythm, because you have learned to live by mine. You will find meaning in small things, and strength in what seems invisible. My child, believe me, there is not a single moment in your life that passes without me being there. I am in every sunrise, every burst of laughter, every tear, every second when you think you have nothing left. I walk beside you, I steady you, I lift you up, I correct you, and I love you with a love that no power can ever take away. You do not have to hold the whole world on your own. You only need to remember that I am standing next to you, the one who never abandons you, never grows indifferent, never makes empty promises. And once you begin to live in that presence, you will know that even though life has many difficult paths, there is always a place where your heart can rest. Therefore, my little one, keep being faithful, keep making room for me. Let each day become a small song between you and me, a song of trust, of peace, of surrender. The time will come when you will no longer have to strain to search for my presence, because you will be living in it, breathing in it, and being carried by the unceasing flow of my love. And in that moment, you will understand a sacred truth that I have always wanted you to know, that you have never, and will never, have to walk alone. My beloved child, there is a truth your soul has always been quietly whispering, but you have not been still enough to hear it. Before your heart can turn toward me, it must learn how to lay down what is weighing it down. A soul covered over by sorrow and ambition cannot receive what is sacred, just as a field that has never been tilled cannot welcome the seed. I see you trying to cling to what you believe you need to protect yourself, the carefully built plans, the projects you fear losing, as if letting them go would leave you at a disadvantage. The fears that make you think that if you loosen your grip, you will be left exposed in this life. But you do not know that it is precisely those things that are piling up into a thick wall, making it hard for my light to reach the deepest places of your heart. You think that as long as there is still something in your hands, you will be safer. But the truth is that hands clenched too long begin to ache, and a heart that clings too tightly grows tired. I see within you a vague longing for lightness, a quiet cry not for more, but for less, not to be filled to the brim, but to be emptied out. You think you are craving strength, but you are really longing to set things down. You think you need control, but your soul only wants to rest in the guidance of the one who loves you unconditionally. You think you must try harder, but deep inside, you are longing for someone to tell you you do not have to hold yourself together anymore. I am here. My child, I see in your eyes the anxiety you carry about the future, about things not yet formed, which you still try to hold on to as if they were the condition for your happiness. You repeat your plans in your mind, edit them, prepare for every possibility, even imagine the worst so you can be ready. You do this not because you are greedy, but because you are afraid. You are afraid to lose, afraid to be wrong, afraid of being left behind, afraid that life will punish you if you do not control enough. But you do not realize that the tighter you cling, the more breathless you become. The more you hold on, the harder it is to step forward. The more you try to prove you are strong enough, the more your heart dries out into barren ground, where I can hardly sow anything new. I am not asking you to throw away everything you have. I only want you to know how to loosen your grip. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is daring to. Believe that my hands are larger than your fears, and that my heart is safer than anything you think you must protect by yourself. Do you know why the soul needs empty space? Because only in the stillness of old attachments being released can I place within you what the world cannot give. You think that emptiness will make you weak, but in truth that very emptiness is the beginning point of the strength I give. A vessel filled to the brim cannot receive fresh, living water, but a vessel that knows how to pour out will be filled in abundance. So it is with you. When you gently lay down your burdens, your worries, your insecurities, your old wounds, the words of others that weigh you down, you will discover something wonderful. I never let that emptied space become desolate. In the place you dare to leave empty, I will place peace. In the deep place you thought was only darkness, I will place light. In the places you thought held nothing but failure, I will cause restoration to grow. You tell me that you want to hear my voice, yet you fear that silence is a void. You have grown so used to noise that whenever your heart grows quiet, even for a moment, you panic, thinking you have lost your way. But my child, silence is not emptiness. Silence is a doorway. When your heart is no longer pulled in every direction by the clamor of this world, you will see that it is then that I can whisper to you most clearly. I do not speak to you with thunder. I do not send my messages through violent storms. I come in the gentleness of a breath, like the first light of dawn, like a drop of water touching the earth without a sound. To hear me, you do not need to try harder. You only need to stop resisting. You are confused because you think surrender is defeat, but surrendering to me is the victory of your soul. You imagine that if you let go, others will outrun you. You imagine that if you step out of the race that never ends, you will fall behind. But I ask you, what truly makes you happy? What truly gives your heart peace? What truly allows you to live in harmony with who you are? It is precisely when you stop that you see how long you have been running out of fear of losing, rather than out of a desire to live. It is precisely when you let go that you see how many things you once thought were important have only damaged your soul. It is precisely when you grow silent that you finally hear my voice rising in a place untouched by the noise of the world. I tell you that I am always here, but the reason you cannot feel me is not that I am far away, but that your heart is too full. If you dare to let it grow empty, even just a little, just enough to take a deep breath, I will step into that space before you even realize it. My love does not arrive after you have prepared yourself. It comes in the very moment you relax your grip. I do not wait for you to become perfect before I embrace you. I embrace you to make you whole. I do not wait for you to erase all your mistakes before I love you. I love you so that everything that causes you pain may be wiped away. Right now, as you are reading these words, there is already a small trembling in your heart, just a little, like someone gently touching your chest with tenderness. That is me. I am reaching out, my hand to you, not to force you to stand up, but so that you will know you no longer have to drag your feet alone. My presence does not lie in great signs and wonders, but in this very moment, where you sense something deep within you touching your most wounded place without frightening you. That is my spirit curling around you like a warm breeze, moving like light filtering through the trees, healing like a stream flowing through the desert. You do not need to struggle in order to keep hold of me. You do not need to thrash about to preserve your peace. You only need to open the door of your heart gently, and I will come in. Every door at which I knock is because I long to soothe your soul, not to test your worthiness. Do not brace yourself. Do not fight. Do not try to prove anything. Just let go. Allow your heart to receive me as dry ground receives the rain without calculation, without fear, simply opening itself. My child, let me remind you, my love does not stand far away. My peace is not high above the heavens. My strength is not something you must find in tempests and storms. It is here, right now, surrounding you, soaking into you, lifting you with every breath. All that you have been searching for, peace, certainty, support, is not hidden in the things you are trying so hard to hold on to, but in the one who is holding you. You do not need to look any farther, because everything your soul longs for is, in truth, myself. And if you are willing to open your heart, you will understand that emptiness is not a space for the world to steal from you, but the very place where I put what you have never dared to dream of. You will see that your life no longer revolves around your efforts to survive the storms, but around my gentle leading of each step you take. You will find yourself lighter, deeper, stronger, and freer. You will see that everything you once called loss was only the clearing of the way so that I could work wonders within you. And in the end, you will realize that in all your efforts to seek meaning, to seek peace, to seek a place of rest, you never had to go far at all. You only needed to return to me, the one who is still whispering to you, in this very moment and forever, I am here. My beloved child, every moment you face in this life is a quiet whisper from me, an invitation calling you back to the presence I have placed around you since the dawn of creation. When the morning light pulls back the veil of night and the first rays gently touch the earth, it is not only the movement of the universe, but a sign that I am awakening your soul, reminding you that this world is still beautiful, simply because I am still in it with you. When the laughter of a friend suddenly melts the heaviness in your heart, know that it is I who have used that person as a small bridge, so your soul can touch again the joy you thought you had lost. When night falls and everything sinks into stillness, that silence is not a frightening emptiness, but a cradle I spread out so your heart may breathe, may rest, may hear once more the small voice still trembling within that you have long neglected. Even when a dull ache winds its way through your chest, when you feel a discomfort you cannot even name, do not think that I am far. For it is precisely in those tremors that I am touching the places you have tried to hide, to remind you that there is no wound I do not see, no pain from which I stand apart. My child, at times the voice of your conscience leaves you unsettled. At other times it makes you want to turn away, because it reminds you of what is right that you are afraid to do, or of what is wrong that you do not wish to face. But know that in the deepest place of that secret call, it is I who am speaking to you, gentle yet resolute, like a father who always wants you to walk the right path, so you do not stray from the love that has always been yours. And when there arises within you a mysterious longing, a desire that rises above the everyday, a thirst to live for something greater than yourself, be still and listen, for that is not a craving of the flesh, but the soft pluck of the soul, calling you back to its true source, to me. My presence is not like a flash of lightning that appears once and disappears, nor is it reserved only for solemn moments of prayer or sacred rituals. I am not only in the temple, nor only in those moments when you feel yourself holier. I am in every breath you draw, in every small movement of your heart, both when you are aware and when you absent-mindedly forget. Like an underground stream nourishing the fields, like the quiet pulse that keeps you alive, my presence does not ask to be sought with the eyes, but to be sensed with a heart cleansed of the things that crowd me out. I have never hidden myself from you. You only need to learn how to see again. You need only let your inner eyes grow less weary, your spiritual ears less noisy, and your heart less burdened by what is not worth keeping. I do not require you to be perfectly virtuous before you can meet me. I only desire that your heart be open enough to receive me. Do not wait for something grand in order to recognize me, for the ordinary is the very language of love I use to come to you. Do not think you must pray flawlessly or become spotless before you are worthy to hear my voice. No, you need only breathe gently and call my name. Just a brief pause, however short, is enough for me to step into that space and begin to set your soul in order. There may be times when you hear no clear sound at all, but you will know I am coming by the quiet that settles in your heart like a breeze slipping through a window. You will recognize me by the peace you cannot explain, by the sense of being held on someone's shoulder even when no one is standing beside you, by a strange warmth you cannot put into words. That is, my quiet yet powerful presence, not ostentatious, yet strong enough to stir every fold of your soul. Do not let your heart be swept too deeply into things that cannot truly satisfy you. The world can offer you fleeting pleasures, intense sensations, and successes that make you think you have grasped the meaning of life. But after a short time, you will find the emptiness returning, perhaps even more persistent than before. For your soul was fashioned to long for me. It is like a vessel of a particular shape that fits only me, and nothing else can fill it. The more you try to stuff into it the heavy objects of this world, the more your heart will crack, for those things do not have the right shape for the dwelling I created within you. My child, I do not reproach you for seeking elsewhere. I only hope you will soon see that what you need is not out there, but in the very presence I have given you from the beginning. Lay down what only drains your strength, the ambitions that relentlessly consume your time, the comparisons that make you feel small, the expectations others pile on your shoulders until you want nothing more than to run away from yourself. Lay down also the old pains that have dragged you along for years, the harsh words you accepted as truth, the memories that have become chains binding you to the dark. You do not need to carry them into every new dawn. You need only place them in my hands. When you let go, I will receive. When you set them down, I will lift them up instead. When you release what tangles your heart, I will fill it with what makes you truly live. For only when your heart is emptied of what is passing away can I find room to pour in what is eternal. Remember this: the kingdom of heaven is not a prize reserved for the strong, but a refuge for those humble enough to let go. When you release the world, you do not lose the right to live. You step into freedom. When you exchange what quickly fades, you receive what cannot be destroyed. When you lower yourself, I will raise you up. And when you allow me to become the center of your breathing, your heartbeat, and even your smallest daily decisions, you will see that once you have me, everything else finds its proper place. My little child, I am here, not far away, not so high that you cannot reach me, but near, so near that the slightest opening of your heart is enough for me to be there. You do not see me with your physical eyes, yet your soul recognizes me in every small movement of life. You cannot touch me with your hands, but you touch me with your faith, with the quiet within your heart, with every time you keep your peace even while circumstances remain chaotic. I am the warmth in the cold night, the steadiness when the storm rises, the hand that grasps you just as you think you are about to fall. I am the one who stays when everything else turns its back. I am the one who holds you when you no longer have the strength to hold yourself. And, my child, when you learn to live each day in that presence, you will no longer wander lost for long. You may stagger, you may collapse, you may grow weary, but you will never be without direction, for I, myself, am the way. You will begin to understand that I am not only around you, upholding you, but within you, enlightening you. You will walk more slowly, but more surely. You will love more deeply, and fear less. You will live more lightly, yet with greater depth, and you will see me in places where once you never imagined I could be found. My child, let me walk with you for the rest of your journey. Let every breath you draw carry the peace I have placed within you. Let each step you take be guided by my hand. Let your soul find its home in me. For when you live in my presence, nothing, however dark, however fierce, however sudden, can keep you crushed for long. You belong to me, and I, forever, belong to you. My beloved child, come a little closer, so that your heart can fully hear what I am whispering to you, not in thunder, not through strange signs, but with the gentleness that only those who truly belong to me can feel. I am not as far away as you once thought. I am not as silent as you once feared. I am not standing above, looking down on your life coldly or from a distance. Even in this very moment, as your eyes move along these lines, it is I who am touching your soul with my words, words that no storm or darkness can ever extinguish. You feel your heart trembling, don't you? That is not just a passing emotion, but a sign that I am awakening the deepest layers within you. For I can only recreate your soul through gentleness, and only with that same gentleness can I heal the wounds you have carried for so many years. You are not alone on this journey, even when you once believed that no one could understand the imbalance within you. For before you called my name, I was already there. Before you cried for help, I had already heard your sigh, and in the very moment you thought no one was watching, I was standing so close that I could hear your heartbeat trembling in the silence. I have witnessed every tear that has fallen from your eyes, the tears you quickly wiped away so that no one would know. The tears that overflowed when you thought you were strong but discovered how fragile your heart truly was. I did not only see them, I touched them with love, so that each tear would not become a sign of failure, but a seed of a new strength being sown deep within you. I hear every whisper buried in the depths of your heart, even the words you have never dared speak aloud for fear of being judged, misunderstood, or seen as weak. With me, none of your hidden whispers are meaningless. I did not come to judge the things you hide. I came to free you from having to hide from yourself. For I know you only hide what hurts you, not what makes you proud. And I want to lift each pain up so that my light can touch it, heal it, and turn it into the very place where you become stronger. I have been with you in laughter and in tears, in the days you stand tall, and in the times you fall, time after time. I am not only beside you when you succeed, I am there even more when you are shattered. When you think all you have left is failure and sorrow, I embrace the weakest part of you so that the strongest part of me can fill that empty space. I am never tired of watching you rise and collapse again. I only love you more. For in my eyes, your weakness does not lessen your worth. It simply gives me more reason to carry you in those moments when you cannot take another step. When the road is wide and bright, I rejoice that you can see the vast landscape I have given. When the road is dark, I long all the more for you to lean on me. You do not realize that in the times you thought you walked alone, it was I who lifted you up so that your feet would no longer tremble. Every breath you draw carries my presence. Every beat of your heart is held in rhythm by my hand. Not for a single moment, not even as brief as the blink of an eye, have I ever been far from you. You are infinitely precious to me, more than all the glittering stars in the sky, more than the majestic mountains or the boundless seas. The vast universe I have fashioned does not bring me as much delight as your very existence. Before you were born, I knew you. I knew your name when no one had ever spoken it. I knew your smile before it ever bloomed upon your lips. I heard your cry before the world did. You are not a mistake that appeared amidst the chaos of this world. You were formed by my own hands, little by little, as a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, without a copy. No one in this world resembles you enough to replace you before me. You are not a spare piece, unnecessary and left over. You are a complete design in the plan of love I have prepared for you since eternity. Even the vast sky with its billions of stars, however radiant, cannot draw my heart the way you do. For the universe cannot love me in return, but you can. That is why I cherish you more than anything else I have created. You are woven together by my wisdom, not only in body, but also in soul, where I have breathed into you my very breath of life. Every feature of you, from your gaze to your way of thinking, from your steps to the stirrings of your heart, is the condensation of the love I have poured into you. There is nothing in you that is meaningless. There is nothing in you that is redundant. Even your weaknesses have been known to me from the beginning, not so that I may reject you, but so that I may reshape you with patience and grace. You are not a discarded fragment drifting down the river of life. You are a story I am writing, page by page, line by line, with a perseverance that nothing can shake. You are not the product of chance, nor something I was forced to accept. You are my choice. You are my joy. You are the reason I came down into this world, so that you would know that my love for you is not some lofty idea in the sky, but a living reality flowing through every moment of your life. Everything I created in the universe, the sun that warms your skin, the moon that lights your nights, the earth that holds your steps, is only a gift I send so that you may know you are never forgotten. You are worth more than all these things. You surpass in value every creature your eyes can see, because you bear my image. And, my child, if you knew how precious you are to me, you would no longer look at yourself with doubt or self-contempt. You would no longer think of yourself as a burden, an extra, or someone unworthy of happiness. You would understand that every step you take, every smile you share, every dream that stirs within you carries my companionship. You would see that nothing happens outside of my embrace, not even the things that hurt you or frighten you. I do not promise that your path will never have gray days, but I promise that you will never have to walk through those days alone. I do not promise that you will never cry, but I promise that not a single tear of yours will be wasted. I do not promise that you will never be weak, but I promise that my strength will cover every place where you feel most empty. And if there comes a day when you feel you no longer have anything to lean on, remember that I am the foundation on which you can stand firm. If there comes a day when you feel broken beyond repair, remember that I am the one who gathers each fragment to recreate your soul. If there comes a day when you feel that no one understands your heart, remember that I have understood you long before you understood yourself. You are never lost in my sight. You are never forgotten in my heart. You are not measured by success or failure. You are loved not because you are worthy, but because I chose to love you before you ever knew how to love me. And that love does not shift with time, does not fade when you fall, does not change when you are weak. Now, let these words sink deep into the innermost place of your heart, the place the world has never reached, but I have always seen. Let them become the warmth that rekindles the parts of your soul that have grown cold. Let them become the light that flows into the corners, long covered by fear. Let them become the new heartbeat that revives the faith that once wavered. And once you allow me to dwell there in the deepest, truest part of you, you will know that you have never been just an ordinary person. You are the one I love with the whole heart of the Creator, and nothing in all your life can ever make me change that. My beloved child, let me hold you with the very mercy that flows from my heart. I know every hidden corner you keep concealed, every dark place you are afraid to let anyone touch, every wound you try to cover with outward strength. Yet you do not realize that I see it all not to condemn you, but to love you with a love so deep that even the most broken parts of you become the very places I long to touch first. My child, the world around you is loud, crowded, and never stops. Each day, it hurls at you thousands of different voices. Some voices pull you down, some make you doubt yourself. Others plant in you the feeling that you do not belong anywhere. They repeat themselves so often that you start believing they are the truth, that you are truly small, weak, lost, and undeserving of love. But my child, I tell you this in truth, not one of those voices reflects your real worth. They are only the shadows of the world, while the truth lies in the way my eyes gaze upon you every single day. There was a time I saw you bow your head in exhaustion after a long day, your soul scraped raw by criticism and collisions. You asked yourself, am I not good enough? Am I not loved? Am I just struggling to survive in a world that has no need for me? My beloved child, when a little child falls, it instinctively looks around to see if anyone will run to help it up, and if no one comes, it concludes that it is not important. Your heart is the same. When no one seems to understand, you begin to think you are not worth loving. But I, the one who created you, have been there from the very beginning. I do not simply stand at a distance, watching your pain with regret. I come to remind you that, in my eyes, you are more precious than anything this world could ever define or measure. My child, there are days when your soul is like a leaf in the wind, tossed about by every word that people speak. There is a voice that tells you that you are not good enough, another voice that says you are too wounded to ever be healed, and yet another that insists you will never touch anything truly beautiful. But I ask you, why do you believe them and not believe me? I, who breathed the breath of life into you, have never said that you are worthless. I have said that your name is engraved on the palms of my hands. I have said that nothing in this life can snatch you out of my hand. I have said that you are loved not because you are perfect, but because you belong to me. My voice is never the voice of condemnation. It is always the voice calling you home. Among all the sounds that surround you, only my voice speaks the truth, that you are chosen, you are loved, you are forgiven, and you are held by a love that never changes. You are my handiwork, and I do not create anything meaningless. Your heart must learn to push aside the noise, not by pretending to be strong, but by leaning on me, the way a child leans into their father's arms after a long, fearful day. I know you carry many questions in your heart. There are moments when you lift your eyes toward the dark sky and silently ask me, why is this world so full of pain? Why do I have to suffer? Why are there sorrows that never seem to end? You think that I am silent, but in truth I am listening to every trembling beat within your soul. You hurt, and I know. You are weak, and I see. You are afraid, and I understand. I do not rebuke you for these questions. I gather them into my heart as a father holds a frightened child. You ask because you trust me, and I have never considered those questions an offense. They are, in fact, some of the truest prayers you could ever offer. But, my child, my ways are so much higher than your ways. You see only a tiny slice of the great picture I am painting. You see only the dark stretch of road directly beneath your feet, while I see the radiant path unfolding ahead. You see the door that has just closed and think that everything is over. I see the new door slowly opening before you. You see the pain of the present moment. I see the resurrection that is waiting for its appointed time. You see only fragments, scattered and broken. I see the finished masterpiece. And when you think your life is falling apart, I am quietly weaving every piece together to bring forth something you have never even dared to dream. My child, there are seasons when I allow you to walk through the night, not because I delight in your pain, but because I want you to grow stronger in love. Just as a potter allows clay to face the fire so that it may become firm and enduring, I allow your heart to go through trials so that your faith may mature. Without darkness, you would never recognize the light. Without rough and uneven paths, you would not learn how to lean on me. Without tears, you would not understand the value of the joy I give. You think I have abandoned you, but that is when I am closest, only an arm's length away, as near as a single breath. When storms rise, you often think that I am no longer there. But my beloved child, it is in the midst of the storm that I am the anchor keeping your heart from sinking. You feel the fierce wind, but you do not realize that I am the one holding you from behind. You see the sea heaving and crashing, but you do not see that I am standing right beside you, my hand resting on your shoulder, quietly saying, "Do not be afraid. It is I." You assume I do not hear your cries for help, but I have already run to you long before you could call my name. That you do not feel. My hand does not mean I am not holding you. It only means that your fears have, for a moment, clouded your heart to my presence. My child, there was a time when my disciples were adrift on the dark sea, and the strong wind lashed against their boat until their hearts trembled. They saw me walking toward them on the water and thought I was a ghost. Do you see? Even when I came to them in the very midst of the storm, their hearts, filled with noise and panic, could not recognize me. But I spoke one sentence that calmed the raging winds. "It is I, do not be afraid. You are the same. Many times I draw very near to you, but your fear prevents you from seeing me. Yet if you would let your heart grow still for just a moment, you would hear me speaking to you as I spoke to them that day. I am here, with you, and I will not leave. My child, I do not want you to pass through this life with a heart that trembles before every lying voice. I want you to live each day in the truth that you are loved with a love that is steadfast, unchanging, and without condition. I want you to know that even if the whole world should tilt and collapse, I still hold you as firmly as on the very first day I formed you. I want you to trust that no event, no failure, no person, no power can sever the bond of love between you and me. That bond is woven from the very breath I have placed within you. When you learn to hear my voice instead of the world's, you will no longer shake the way you used to. When you choose to stand in my light instead of the shadow of your fears, you will find direction amidst countless crossroads. When you entrust your heart into my hands, you will no longer fear loss, because in me, everything you lose is transformed into grace, into life, and into a deeper joy. You will stand firm not because you are strong, but because I am your strength. You will smile not because there are fewer storms, but because I always walk through the storm with you. And then you will come to know a truth greater than all other truths, that my love for you does not only embrace you in this very moment, but also opens before you a future. It is not a future without trials, but a future in which I am with you in every breath. It is a future where you no longer strive to prove your worth, because you have already been affirmed by me from before the foundation of the world. It is a future where you know that every tear has meaning, every wound has a purpose, and every step you take is guided. My beloved child, let these words sink to the very bottom of your heart. There is nothing in the heights of heaven or in the depths of the abyss, nothing in the present or in the future, no power of darkness that can separate you from my love. That love does not waver with your moods. It does not change with your circumstances. It does not vanish when you are weak. It surrounds you like breath, like light, like life itself. All you need is to listen to my voice, and you will realize that you are always being held in the arms of one who will never abandon you. I am here, so close that every beat of your heart is a reminder that I am still carrying you through each day. You are not lost. You are not alone. You are being led by a love that existed before this world began. And in that love, you are always safe. You are forever mine, my beloved child. Let me hold you once more with words your soul has long been waiting for. Words not meant merely to soothe your mind, but to reach the deepest places of your heart, where you have hidden things you yourself have been afraid to face. You are tired because you have run too fast in a world that constantly demands you to be stronger than you can be. You are weary because you have worn bright, polished masks to cover your secret wounds. You are exhausted because while everyone thinks you are fine, only you know how fragile you have become. But my child, I never created you to live under such pressure. I formed you so that you could lean on me, so that you might know there is a place of absolute safety, where you do not need to pretend to be stronger. where you do not need to hide your tears, where you do not need to prove your worth with success or silent endurance. Come close to me, my child. Do not come as one burdened by guilt, running from a sentence of condemnation. Come as a child returning home after a long, weary day. I am not here to ask why you are weak, why you stumbled, why you are not enough. I am here simply to welcome you. I want you to tell me everything you are afraid to say to people. The times you were disappointed in yourself, the times you pretended to be fine when your heart was already cracked, the nights you lay awake with worries no one could understand, the moments you were so tired you no longer wanted to go on. I do not need long speeches. I do not need perfectly composed prayers. I do not need beautifully crafted words from you. I only desire your honest soul, shattered or whole. I will receive it all. My child, I have seen everything long before you could utter a word. I see old wounds that have never fully healed, the trust that has been damaged, the memories that make you tremble whenever they return. I see the silent fears you hide behind your smile, the times you try to appear stronger so no one will be disappointed in you. I see even the dreams you are afraid to speak aloud because you think they are too big for me to fulfill. Yet no matter how many cracks you carry, my arms remain open. No matter how weak you feel, I still call you my child. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you belong to me. Nothing can ever change that. The love I have for you is not like the love that once hurt you. It is not like the kind of affection that fades as soon as you no longer meet someone's expectations. Not like the kind of love that comes and goes with passing moods. My love does not rise when you succeed and fall when you fail. It does not depend on what you do. It rests on who I am. I am love. My love does not waver with what you do today or the mistakes you make tomorrow. It exists like the atmosphere that covers the earth. You cannot see it, but you cannot live without it. It does not step back when you take a wrong turn, and it does not increase when you do what is right. That love is not defined by your achievements, but by my faithfulness. Do you know how strong my love for you is? It is a river that never runs dry, no matter how much you drink from it. It is a light that never goes out, no matter how many long nights you walk through. It is a flame that never grows cold, no matter how fiercely the winds of life may blow. It is a hand that is always open, no matter how many times you have walked away. I do not love you in exchange for your obedience. I love you so that you can live in freedom. I do not love you to bind you. I love you to set you free from the things that are strangling your soul. My child, you have walked too long carrying burdens I never asked you to carry. You have tried to brace yourself to be strong, and that is exactly why you are exhausted. You have tried to hold everything inside because you are afraid of disappointing others, and that is exactly why you are hurting in silence. You have tried to heal your wounds with sheer willpower, but all you have done is push them deeper. I see it all, and I want to tell you that it is time to put it down. Lay down the work, fear, lay down the weariness. Lay down all that you carry on your shoulders that no one else sees, and place it at my feet. You do not have to go through all of this alone. You do not need to push yourself any harder. I am here not far away, not waiting for you to change before I come, but right beside you, in your very tired breath. You only need to open your heart just a little, and I will do the rest. I will lift off each burden, wipe away every tear, soothe every old wound, heal every fear, and rekindle every hope you thought had died. My dear child, you do not need to be perfect to be loved by me. You do not need to be strong all the time for me to be pleased with you. You do not need to succeed for me to be proud of you. You only need to be yourself, with all your weaknesses, all your failures, all your unfulfilled longings, all your open wounds. Because in my eyes, these things do not lessen you. They simply give me more reason to draw you closer into my arms. My love is not like the love of this world, the kind of love that sometimes gives and then takes back. My love does not change with the passing of days. It does not dry up when you do wrong, and it does not grow thicker when you do right. It is always full, like a river that keeps on flowing, like the sun that never stops shining, like the sky that never abandons the earth. It covers you, washes you, restores you, renews you. It melts away the layers of dust from fear, awakens parts of you that you thought had fallen asleep, and brings your heart back to life with goodness, with truth, with the trust you once lost. And if you let me love you, truly let me love you, this love will fill every empty place you thought could never be healed. It will enter the dark corners where you dare not invite anyone. It will touch the pains you do not want anyone to know about. It will cover the memories you wish you could forget but have never been able to erase. It will bring warmth to the coldest parts of you and light to the darkest corners of your soul. Let me do that, my child. Lay down your burdens, take a deep breath, let your shoulders become light again, let your heart grow soft again. Let your soul find rest in my arms. For I do not only love you, I also long to take upon myself everything that is draining you, so that you can live a life of freedom, peace, and overflowing joy, which I have prepared for you since the very beginning. You only need to come and say, Father, I am tired. I will wrap my arms around you and say, my child, I am here. I have never been far from you, and I will never leave you. You belong to me forever. My beloved child, sit quietly for a moment and listen with your trembling heart, because I want to tell you what your soul has been longing to hear for so long. No mistake of yours is big enough to keep me away, and no wrong step of yours is strong enough to make me change my mind about the love I have for you. The things you regret, the words you once spoke in anger, the times you collapsed in the dark, all of it does not make me back away even a single step. I do not love you based on the moments when you are strong. I love you right in the very moment when you are most fragile. I am the one who stands beside you when the eyes of people turn away. I am the one who lays my hand on your shoulder when your hands no longer have the strength to pull yourself up. I am the one who holds your heart that has been wounded so many times and whispers, you are not abandoned. You cannot see it, but in every time you cried in silence, I have wiped your tears with a tenderness no other soul could replace. I was there when you thought everything had collapsed. I raised you up from depths of despair you yourself did not dare to look at. I planted seeds of hope in the deepest place of your soul, the place no one else can reach, but I can. My child, you are walking on a journey, not a journey of perfection, but a journey of growth. And I want you to know, every turn you take, whether bright or dark, wide or narrow, joyful or painful, is held in my hand. You do not need to understand everything, because I understand. You do not need to see the whole road ahead, because I am the one leading. You do not need to know why certain losses happen, because I know exactly what I am taking from you and what I am preparing for you. Some doors close not because you have failed, but because I am protecting you from what no longer belongs to you. Some relationships slip from your hands not because you are not good enough, but because I want new people to come in with a more healed kind of love. Some unfinished dreams are not a final full stop, but a comma I place there to open a better, brighter, more complete chapter. You see wounds, but I see the final outcome. You see loss, but I see deliverance. You feel pain, but I see a strong seed beginning to sprout in the dark soil. You complain that the night is too long, but it is. In that very night that I am watching over you every minute, every second, you believe you are alone, but in truth I have never taken my eyes off you. I have shielded you from things that, if you knew about them, you would fall to your knees in tears of gratitude. You do not see my hand, but I am the one who has held back the storms that wanted to torment you even more. I have silenced accusations that wanted to destroy your soul before they could reach you. I have kept your heart from breaking, even though it has been tested many times. I have given you breath on mornings when you no longer wanted to open your eyes. I have placed perseverance in your feet so you could take one more step when you felt you had no strength left. You do not know it, but I have been whispering to your soul in its longest nights. You are not walking alone, my child, when everything seems mute, when your prayers seem to fall into emptiness, when you are weary from waiting for what you long for and see no answer. Do not be quick to think that my silence means I do not care. There are moments when I am silent, not because I abandon you, but because I am driving the roots deeper for what I am about to make bloom in your life. A seed can only grow in the dark. It cracks, it breaks, it endures pressure and pain before it rises above the ground. In the same way, the tears you cry today are not in vain. They are watering things you cannot yet see. The pleadings you think I do not hear are in fact being held in my hand like precious pearls. I am arranging the timing, arranging the path, arranging each person I will send to lift you up. Not one of your prayers is forgotten. Not one of your cries is abandoned. When you think you are wandering in the desert, in reality, I am leading you step by step so that your soul will be strong enough to receive the promised land I have prepared. When you think this pain will kill you, I am turning it into a language your heart will use to understand others more deeply. When you think you have lost everything, I am placing in your hands something better than what you believe you have lost. And my child, trust me even when nothing looks the way you hoped. Trust me when all you can hear is silence. Trust me even when you ask and do not see an answer. Trust me when the pain is more than you can bear, when you do not understand why everything has fallen apart this way, when you even feel like giving up. You do not need to pretend to be strong in front of me. I love you even when you are trembling. I love you even when you doubt. I love you even when you are confused. I love you even when you feel unlovable. I am not waiting for you to become a perfect version of yourself before I lift you up. I lift you up so that you can become the most radiant version of who you truly are. Let me be the one who heals the deepest layers of your soul, the places you once thought no one could ever touch. I do not heal with theories. I heal by stepping right into the place where you hurt the most, shining my light there, and turning it into the birthplace of new hope. My child, your tomorrow is not determined by your yesterday. Your future is not locked up by your past mistakes. Your worth is not scratched just because you once failed. You are not defined by the things that made you stumble, but by the one who always stands beside you to lift you up. You are in the middle of a journey, and I know exactly each step you need to take. There is no turn that is beyond my reach, no darkness that can make me lose sight of you, no distance that can make me stop loving you. You are mine. And I will lead you to a place that, if I told you about it today, you would hardly dare to believe. But I know you will get there, because I am going before you. Be at peace, for I am watching over you when you sleep, when you weep, when you hide your pain so deep that even you no longer understand it. You are not alone for even 1 minute. You are not abandoned, not even for a second. You are being held in arms that will never let you go. Rest now, my child, for I am here. My little one, for so long you have thought that I expected from you so many difficult things, that I demanded of you flawless excellence, absolute obedience, and spotless success. But you did not know that I have never required you to perform, to pretend to be strong, to strain yourself to become perfect according to some standard you built for yourself. I never wanted your heart to be crushed under the pressure of having to be so good, having to be so right, having to become worthy. I do not need formulaic phrases, nor well-arranged prayers made to look beautiful. What I truly desire, what I long for more than anything, is your real heart, even if it is unfinished, even if it is full of holes, even if it still carries unhealed wounds. You do not need to hide anything from me. You only need to bring the whole truth of who you are, and I will know how to heal it. You do not need to dress up your pain, only place it in my hands, and I will turn it into peace. You do not need to hide the tearful turns in your story, only allow them to stand before me, and I will dry them with a love deeper than the ocean. Come to me just as you are now, no addition, no subtraction, no editing, no covering up. Come to me with the broken pieces that make you ashamed, with the memories you want to forget, with the things that make you sigh in the dark of night. Bring me even the deepest sorrows you once thought no one could ever understand. I do not mock you. I do not scold you. I do not reject you. On the contrary, I gather into my embrace the very parts of you that you are trying to run away from, and I turn them into the place where the fire of healing begins to burn. When you bring your fears to me, I will place within you a peace that nothing in this world can take away. When you come to me exhausted, I will give you rest upon my shoulder, so that you may know you do not have to brace yourself against this world alone. When you come to me with confusion and doubt, I will not blame you for weak faith. I will place my hand upon your heart to rekindle the flame that the blows of life have nearly extinguished. When you come with tears, I do not say, "Don't cry anymore," but I sit down beside you, wipe away each tear, and let you cry in my arms. And when you are so worn out that you have no words left to say, if you only breathe out in my presence, I will understand it all. My beloved child, I am not a vague concept that you only hear about in catechism or through someone's stories. I am not an ancient tale found only on faded pages. I am not a distant silhouette hiding behind layers of clouds. I am the living one. I exist in this very moment. I am right where you are sitting, in the breath that goes in and out of your chest. I am in the quiet beating of your heart. That heartbeat is my voice saying to you, you are still alive because I am still keeping you. You do not have to seek me in some faraway place. If you will only grow a little still, switch off the chaos in your mind, you will find me in the silence between two breaths. When you let your heart become less noisy, you will hear my voice whispering like a breeze brushing your soul. I am here. You think you lift your eyes to look for me, but in truth, I have had my eyes on you for a long time. You think you have to shout for me to hear, but with just one thought turned toward me, I am already by your side. My child, I am speaking to you in this very moment. My spirit is moving in your room, in the air around you, in the warmth that touches your skin. I am not as far away as you think. My nearness does not depend on your feelings. It depends on the love I have for you, and that love has never changed. Quiet your mind, and I will place within you a deep, steady peace that no one can explain. Open your heart, even just a crack, and I will enter like light slipping through a doorway. Lift your gaze just a little, and you will realize I have never left your side. I am present in that gentle tightening of your chest that makes you feel calm in the middle of a stormy day. I am present in the whisper that keeps repeating inside you. You are not alone. I want you to let go of the things you are clutching so tightly. I am not asking you to be instantly strong. I only want you to lay down just a little. Lay down the thought that you are unworthy. Lay down the belief that you must punish yourself for the mistakes you have made. You are holding on to too much guilt, and that feeling is keeping you from daring to come toward me. But my child, I have never used condemnation to call you back. I have never threatened you with punishment. I have never labeled you bad, a failure, or not enough. All those accusing voices do not come from me. They come from the world, from the past, from fear, from the darkness that wants to pull you away from my embrace. Let them go. You have already been forgiven. You are already loved. You are already welcomed. You do not have anything left to prove. My grace is greater than every fall you have taken. My mercy is deeper than every sin you have ever committed. My power is stronger than all your limitations. You do not need to worry that you are too weak to follow me, for I myself am your strength. You do not need to fear that your future is dim, for that future lies in my hands, and my hands never let anyone slip away. You have asked if your life has meaning. I answer, yes, because I have inscribed your name on the palms of my hands. You have asked if your prayers are truly heard. I answer, I hear every breath, every tear, every sorrow that never finds its way into words. You have asked whether you will be guided in the days to come. I answer, I am going before you, clearing the road, opening the way, and keeping you from the dangers you cannot see. My beloved child, I rejoice in you, even when you cannot yet rejoice in yourself. When you open your eyes to a new day, I am already standing beside you. When you sink into sleep, I stay awake to guard your soul. When you smile, I rejoice with you. When you cry, I wrap my arms around you and hold you close. When you stumble, I do not laugh at you. I lift you up with the gentleness only a true father can have. When you succeed, I bless your steps. Not for one moment do my eyes leave you. Not for a single second does my heart cease to turn toward you. You belong to me forever. My child, now that your heart has opened and your breathing has grown light, come closer to me. Place your hand over your heart and offer me the deepest words within you. Like a child who has found its father's arms again after many weary days, Almighty God, who sees through every beat of my heart, today I come before your holy face with all the weaknesses I have tried so long to hide. Please sweep away the noise that surrounds my soul, the voices of fear, of judgment, of disappointment that keep pressing down on my shoulders. Please open my ears so that I may hear your gentle whisper amid the many sounds that lead me astray. Please help me recognize you in each simple thing, the morning light, the falling tear, the quiet breath. And please let my heart become empty enough for you to enter, full enough for you to pour out your grace, strong enough to follow you in every circumstance of my life. Most merciful Father, I run back to you like a lost child searching for the familiar embrace. Please clear out from my heart all the lies the world has sown into it, that I am not good enough, that I am not loved, that I am not worthy to be touched by you. Father, please erase the dark marks of my past so that I may begin anew in your arms. Please rekindle within me the peace that I have lost through so many years of worry, hurt, and disappointment. And please make my soul quiet enough to hear your call, to once more recognize that I still belong to you. O mighty Creator, who sustains my life with things I cannot see, I offer you all the places in me that are weak and shattered. Please gather up the sorrows I cannot speak to anyone and turn them into soil where grace can take root. Please help me let go of what I have held on to for too long, old desires, expectations that wound, concerns that leave me lost. Please teach me how to rest, how to breathe in your presence, how to let my heart lie in the arms of the one who has always been waiting for my return. And please restore hope in me like a green shoot after a long and weary winter. Gentle Jesus, who once walked upon the water in the night storm to reach disciples filled with fear, please also come to me in the inner storms from which I cannot find a way out. Please take my trembling hand and lead me through the confusion that threatens to drown my soul. Please heal the memories that keep me from opening my heart, the wounds that make me doubt your love. Please place within my heart a peace that does not change, a courage that does not come from my own strength but from your very heart. And please let me rest against your side as John once did, that I may understand I have never gone through any trial alone. Lord, I thank you for every moment that seems ordinary yet is overflowing with your presence. I thank you that on the days when I am most in despair, you still send a ray of light just enough to keep my soul from collapsing. I thank you that you do not abandon me even when I abandon myself. I thank you that your love always goes before my fear and heals me even when I do not realize it. I thank you, Father, that every time I fall, You do not count my faults against me, but embrace me so that I can stand up again. I thank you for whispers, soft as the wind, yet strong enough to shatter the darkness wrapped around my soul. I thank you for being more patient with me than anyone else. And I thank you that everything you do for me flows from love and not from duty. I thank you, Lord, that you not only fill my heart but also teach me how to let go of what causes me pain. I thank you that you show me peace is not found out there somewhere, but in your arms. I thank you for every gentle reminder, every time you pull me back, every drop of grace you pour into the places I thought were dead. And I thank you for renewing my soul with a love that never runs dry. I thank you that you let me sense you in those moments when no one else can understand. I thank you that you stay with me through weary nights and lift me up every morning. I thank you that you keep calling my name, even though I have turned away so many times. And Lord, I thank you that you have shown me this: true love never leaves the one it loves. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith